Welcome to episode XXV. That's Roman numerals for 25. Joining me today is a special guest. It's Masters head team coach for Heavy Metal Barbell, Courtney Shoemaker.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Yeah. So,
if you haven't met Courtney, we're going to go a little bit and talk about what Courtney does for the team, her role, her relationship with weightlifting, and then it's mostly because we just had our big finals / UMWF Worlds event.
We did.
Where a lot of Masters athletes, and Courtney works with the vast majority of these athletes and wants to walk through their performances with us. So thank you again, Courtney, for making time to join us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So what it is would you say you do here?
Oh, geez. Well, I clean. No, just kidding. So I do have a day job, so my duties are a little less than they used to be, but I coach on the floor here once a week, and then most of kind of what I do is run the Masters team. Mm-hmm. So basically, we have a pretty good sized crew. I actually don't know what our total number is, but
of Masters athletes?
Yeah. We had 25?
So at Masters Nationals, we had 25 athletes, and that's only Masters.
That's only the Masters.
Yeah,
so
here at this one, we also had 25.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was a little bit combined. So, but yeah, it's safe to say probably 30-ish or more.
Oh, yeah.
Masters
I was thinking
athletes.
like 40 at least at that point, because that's, yeah. So we had a really big showing for Worlds, which was awesome. But outside of just the competitions, we try to get together once a month to do a pod meeting. Now that's just, I guess we've been calling it more like team meetings, but basically just we pick a topic and we go into that. We've done like some technical reviews we did one for each movement. Snatch, clean, jerk was some of the most recent ones we've done. Or sometimes it's mental health, just kind of whatever topic the athletes are interested in, and we'll put together a presentation for that. So we do that once a month. And that's usually like a remote call-in option because most of our folks are remote, or not most of our folks. We got a good solid amount of remote, but we do have a lot here too. And then we try to do at least once a month a remote training call-in for the folks who are not local so that they can train together. Those have been really fun. So we'll be getting back into those after the holidays.
Yeah,
so
we got to pick it up. So
yes.
I think this
I
week,
have been slacking on that.
The only thing I contribute now, but I still like write the programming and whatnot for the team.
Yes, which we appreciate very much.
Which you execute and like communicate and deliver and enrich. So this week I'm working on the annual plan for that, and like already have a really good idea. You know, we know we're going to go to Salt Lake City and do Masters Nationals.
Yep.
The second half of the year is a little bit more unclear, so it's probably just going to be a 6-month plan instead of annual plan.
Yep.
So to speak. But yeah, once we get that, like I think that'll be our first meeting, and we'll be able to talk through the training for everybody. So
I love it, and that makes my job easier because that's a very easy topic.
But it's a nice time. You know, it's the end of the year. It's perfect to have these transition weeks where people just kind of take it chill.
Yeah.
But
especially after Worlds, because it was a big week.
It was a lot, and you know, we had a lot of the athletes who competed, the Masters who competed at Worlds, also competed at State. So they kind of had like two pretty big meets.
Not far apart. What, like 6 weeks apart? If that?
It was maybe 8 weeks, but it was, not a lot of time. Yeah. So it's, that's a lot of time. And then with holidays, it's always crazy. So
it's always fun when you have a meet right after Thanksgiving where you have to make weights.
Yeah. It's especially for older folks,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Gotta love it. So
I think we're kind of unique in that, we obviously have, I was going to say talented. We obviously have like senior age lifters who are trying to do big things.
Yes.
Not that our Masters aren't talented, because they are. But like, we're probably really actually a Masters club when you look at the makeup of our club. Yeah.
We're a big chunk of y'all's membership over on this side. It's a lot of Masters athletes, which is actually something I was surprised by when I moved here. I've been here 3 years. It'll be 4 in January.
Beginning of 2022, right?
Yes. Yeah. January 2022, I came down, and like at that time it was very heavily women, and I think we're still probably a little more female to male.
Yeah, it's even, but it's despite what this says.
Yeah, it is evening out.
Funny, but very heavy women, very, I would say, younger single professionals, right? Like people post college age who are beginning their first job.
Yeah.
Mostly not in relationships, honestly, like just as a qualifier, because you usually use the word DINK, dual income.
Oh yeah.
No kids kind of thing. But it was
well,
mostly
there's
like,
quite a few sinks over here too.
Yeah, there are. So I guess, mostly that age, not as many masters, and it's just over time that's grown more and more.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
See, I don't know, because I missed a little bit of y'all's history, and I came in kind of right after there was that just the shift in ownership. So I kind of came into that, which it just at that point seemed to be very heavily female, which was really, really cool. Also, not something I'd really experienced before in a weightlifting gym. So I really like that. But yeah, it's hard to say why that is, but I do think a lot of why it continues to be strong is, everybody says the community, but it's the Masters group has a very strong community, and they do a very good job of trying to make everybody feel included, whether that you're a master athlete or not. Like Mel Rod, we all know and love Melissa. She's my roommate, but she's also like, sorry, Seth, our probably biggest ambassador here.
Yeah,
Seth's our like long distance ambassador now.
One of us still lives here and trains here.
There's
and the other doesn't.
That is correct. Yeah. So by, if nothing else, that logic. But no, she's always like, even if I don't say anything to her, I see her introducing herself to everybody. And this isn't just Mel, but like I always see her do it. She's very, very consistent with it. But I see a lot of, somebody's new and they're not sure, and like other members, and it's usually masters. I don't know if we're a little older. What's the swearing rule on this podcast?
Oh, whatever.
All right, beautiful. We give less fucks. We've kind of worked through a lot of that stuff, so it's just maybe easier to just approach new people, but it seems like I do see a lot of the masters kind of pulling in maybe somebody just dropping in or somebody new or just uncomfortable and just trying to make that, even like, I think there's a couple different groups who just text each other for accountability to try to keep each other going. And I'm sure that happens. I know the national girls do that as well, but I see that support even without me having to step in and do that. Like we have a masters group chat. So anybody who's in the masters team can be a part of that. It's a WhatsApp chat. And there's a lot of times I'm not sure what's going on in it, because I do. You also have a job or two.
We're actually doing work, unlike the people in the Masters chat, apparently.
I know. Are any of y'all hiring? Because I would like to be in there more. But that's another thing that's really cool is folks jump in if there's a question and you and I can't get to it, because whatever is going on is usually answered by the time I get to go through the messages and see what's going on. So like there's just this really awesome support structure that has kind of over time been built in this group. So, and I do think it's having those like vulnerable conversations. We've had quite a few talks on mental health or just, cognitive reframing, because weightlifting is a super challenging, sport physically, but like that's what if the mental aspect of it is probably right up there with the physical aspect.
For sure.
Granted, you can't think your way into a 100-kilo snatch, but you can certainly think your way out of it.
Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of people do, which is also like, I do have some notes on that later, but I don't know, just we've had a lot of these vulnerable conversations just over the past, year we've been doing these team meetings now.
Roughly,
it's just been a way to bring us together more, just have an outlet for questions. So like, I think because people see, other members, and I try to be vulnerable about things like that, just whatever's going on, because I've probably had an experience like that, or I've worked with somebody who's had an experience like that. So just trying to be just keep things very like, you are not alone in these struggles. This is how we can get through it. And I'm rambling now, but we've had a lot of different times together that we've spent as a team. So I just think that is why we have so many folks, cool people like cool people, and kind of keep cool people around, and we got a lot of those here.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't think when I started a weightlifting club that I intended for it to be.
Yeah, did you want a club full of masters ladies?
I didn't not, but I did. But I wouldn't.
That probably wasn't your target demo.
But yeah, but if that Sean Rigsby had like written down a mission statement, that definitely wouldn't have been it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been like, yep, just a ton of masters ladies. It maybe within a year he realized, oh, definitely ladies.
Yeah.
Because ladies are just easier to work with. I could see that happening, but yeah, it was never about that. It was actually like explicitly about just getting more people to lift, regardless.
Right.
So I always thought that meant youth, but it turns out that's meant adults. And hopefully getting, honestly, because my life as an athlete was so tied to high performance, like getting people that wanted to do that and go down that path. And it 100% has not been that, or like that has not been the priority. So just over time, it was older folks who like doing weightlifting. Like, it's really amazing. We'll talk about so many of them, but like when I realized like how I was about to call him old, but when I realized what
I'm the oldest coach here.
Carlos's age was.
He's
I was like, excuse me? Or
that's the year my dad's born and my mom. Like 50. I looked at the year and I was like, he's my dad's age. What a badass.
And he's still slinging the weights. Or when Steve first came here, and he was like, I'm not too sure about that weightlifting thing, and watching him fall in love with that. And I'm picking on them a little bit because they're men, instead of like our female dominant. But watching Melissa, like their days that basically every day of my life I'm in pain. But you can relate. But watching Melissa just come in and like do weightlifting as just a middle-aged lady who's just like, yep, I just like doing this.
Yeah.
And it's fulfilling. I think what I love about that is that people have fulfillment in the art of practicing it, and it isn't necessarily tied actually to an outcome. And that's really incredible.
Right. And I think that's where it gets to be that piece, as far as like tying it to an outcome can make or break the sport for a lot of people, especially because I know you like wanted to get into this because you were a high performance athlete. Taylor's a high performance athlete. That's like what you were around, and that's that was your jam, and that's what you want to get into.
Yeah.
Whereas I've always been like, I don't know, aggressively average, maybe like a little better than average at sports, but I just always like to be active. So for me, it's always been a very maybe different focus, or maybe it's just like different level of expectations. Cause like if Taylor and I go to a meet together and we're in the same session, which it's only happened, I think it only happened once at
nationals
in Reno's. Yeah. Where I was overcoming a lovely flu.
Yeah.
So like, but I have no, like, Taylor is a competitor. Something would have had to go horribly wrong, in my opinion, for me to beat Taylor in a session, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
So like, reconciling that as like somebody who's just like, I just trying to do my best, because again, I do have the day job and we have these other responsibilities. So like, and like my numbers, my best numbers I haven't seen in a lot, like pre-COVID. So
yeah,
I used to open meets at 80 and 90, which we can talk about my shitty jerk, but like I would lift it in pounds, so 80 sounded light. So I'm like, oh yeah, 80. I don't know the last time I've hit that in a snatch.
Right.
Like I think I've hit it once or twice since being here, but there's been some other injuries just with, going from coaching full time to sitting at a desk that I've been working through. So, but trying to figure out like, okay, I want to compete, but like, what does that look like? Cause it's not going to be a PR, at least not anytime soon, with those used to good numbers.
Yeah.
So that was like a lot of conversations when we're setting up, plans, is saying, okay, well, like what's your best lift? And like, well, ever, or in like the last year. So I've been trying to say, all right, what's the best number you've hit in this last year when we're doing these performance plans,
right,
so that I'm not setting them up for a disappointment.
I will say, so that's really good context and expectation setting. Yeah. What's good about a lot of our masters, a lot of them are still baby masters. But what I mean by that is babies in the sport, not that they're young or old or anything like that.
Yeah.
So they actually still have a lot of PRs in front of them. Mm-hmm. You talked about something that's really interesting, like somebody who like was objectively good at weightlifting, and then as you age has had to watch that become just very difficult, right?
Over and over.
Because when you said it's like, okay, Taylor would have to do something, like she'd have to have a terrible day for me to beat her like that. That's what she just went through in a session where she was competing against Maddie Rogers, literally on the same platform in the same session. And it's like,
Taylor to me is probably Maddie Rogers to Taylor.
But you guys have like during a earlier phase of your life when you can kind of really, really push things, you've seen a peak that it's like may never happen again. And it's really sucks and is a mind fuck and is like difficult to make peace with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have a lot of our members who do that anyway. Like I'm impressed with how they handle it, I guess. For sure. Cause it's a mind fuck. Like it really is.
Yeah. Where and trying to like tuck my feelings aside. When we were having these coaching conversations, especially like if it, like I didn't compete at Worlds, and honestly, like making that decision sucked because I really, really wanted to, but I like it wouldn't have been a good choice. Like we recorded that commercial this weekend. We're like, we'll just snatch what we can. And you're like, 50. And I was like, I should be able to do 50. And I did it.
But it was, it was a time.
And and we're still recovering from that. But it just validated the right decision that withdrawing was the right choice, right? But I never had to do that before. And it's been like 13 years in the sport, and I've never had to withdraw. So I had some really big feelings about that.
Yeah.
But
that does suck.
Yeah. But first the goal was like, I just want a medal. Like that would be so cool to have a World's medal. And then it was becoming like, I still haven't done an empty bar snatch without a lot of pain. Shit. And then it was just to compete. And then it's like, I just want to coach, and I want everybody to have a good time. So that goal, what Worlds looks like for me, evolved a lot since I signed up. And I signed up super early so that I would make myself do PT.
You're committing it. Yeah, exactly.
So I was trying to make it happen.
I remember we talked about it. It's like, like, hey, if I get into this, like I'm committing myself to getting this done.
Yeah. And that's another lesson is like, I've been doing PT the whole time and I've not made the progress I need to do that. So like looking at other options now and all of that, but, it doesn't always, timelines don't always work out how you want. I just turned 40. The recovery is a little slower, but it is moving in the right direction on all that. So anyways, that's just to say goals change, how you, like being flexible with how your performance is going to go, be it, okay, now I'm just coaching, which is I honestly prefer to compete when I have coaching meets like this because I get a couple sessions to not think. Like, yeah. It's a break to compete.
Tune out from all the stress of coaching. Yeah, coaching is difficult.
I give way more fucks about how my athletes do than how I do. Like I'm out there at this point to have fun, and I do like to be competitive, and I can be a competitor, and I do think it's fun to be pushed. I just really look forward to those days again. I guess if that makes sense.
Sure.
But, so that part was a little bit of a bummer, and I think I saw you Sunday morning when you're like, "Hey, can you count for Chris?" And I was like, "I can," but do you really want to?
I was like, maybe.
Do you want me to? I'm doing my best, honey. But it worked out. So that being said, the main goal turned into just I want totals from everybody, and I want everybody to have fun because I do think, there's been a lot of competitions like what we do our in-house meets. There's Queen City Classic, Masters Nationals for the Masters crew. Mm-hmm. We just did states. I think we had another Triple Crown at some point.
We did August. Yeah.
Yep. So there's some folks competed in almost all of those. So like some of these folks coming into this meet, my biggest priority was like trying to help them remember that this actually can be fun. Like, this doesn't have to just be this high pressure situation where you have to hit a PR. And if we don't hit our best lift ever, then it was a waste of time. So trying to work a lot of pre-meet conversations, we're just kind of prepping that mindset and also trying to be a little more giving folks opportunities to kind of talk more through their openers. Cause I think the expectation people put on themselves is that I should always lift heavier.
Do X.
It's like if I did 60 at this last meet, then I should, I opened at 60 before. Now I need to always open there. I can't go down.
Yeah. I talked to Sisha about this once, and she probably still thinks this, but I remember like she also was navigating injuries, having trouble, and it's like, well, I don't do a meet to. I don't think she said this, but like, I don't do a meet to have fun. Like, she has a lot of fun at meets, but like, I think that's the feeling she was trying to verbalize. Like, I do a meet.
Yeah, fun can just, if it's fun, cool. But
I do
that's
a meet
not why
to PR
I'm there.
my total, and I do meets where I open at more than I opened at last time.
Right.
And there are times that is not the case.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I think that's what you're getting at is like setting expectations. Like if you don't PR.
Right. And for Sisha, it's a great example too, because she's probably had some pretty damn solid openers and some good performances. So now like that, I'm just going to add more pressure every time. But if you had a training block or life happens, like, did you get laid off? Is there a death in the family? Like, there's so much shit that can happen. Or just, you know, I got a new bill that I wasn't expecting. Like, anything can really happen to add some additional stressors. And just like, I know somebody, as somebody who's not exactly like rolling in it, the economy is a little tricky to manage right now. So like, if somebody's, you know, folks have multiple jobs, or just like, it could be job stress that's really, you know, there's so many things that people, I'm gonna call out one of my new athletes, Brandon, is a good example of this. So like, he's been lifting for a long time, and he competed in, oh my God, Daytona Beach with us, when I actually found out I competed with his wife in Reno.
Yeah.
And I was like,
a funny coincidence.
I was like, you look really familiar. And yeah, I was hella sick that day. But
yeah, I went up to him and be like, oh, yeah, I didn't know you, but I do know who she is.
Yeah. When he was like, well, I was trying to ask Sean for more time, but I think he basically was like, the fuck you want? So like, he met like coaching in competition coaching Taylor Sean.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog.
So I'm just like, if he was coaching Taylor.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the lessons. Like, you can't. Okay. This is another thing. I'll get back to that later. But anyways, with Brandon, awesome guy, but he's had a lot that has come up during the cycle. So we were kind of doing just a really quick debrief because he had to coach his wife right after I coached him. But like, he had what, 4 for 6, I think. He had a pretty good day, but we'd been battling some injuries.
Yeah.
And this was one of those scenarios where there were some things that were bothering us. So like, we wanted to just make sure we had a good meet. But it was disappointing because like, things are tracking and looking really solid, and then like our shoulder starts bothering us.
Yeah.
And then we had his back started bothering him like a week or 2 out. So then you have to adjust. Like, you can't, depending what's going on, if you just keep ignoring that, you're not going to be able to compete at all. So trying to find that balance is something that, and it's not just unique to Brandon. Like, there's quite a few athletes that I have right now, and it's also just at the end of a cycle when you've been pushing really hard, sometimes you just have to like pay attention to those whispers before they become bigger. So trying to work through those things in as smart of a way as possible to not like, you know, screw yourself up long term. Like, we want to get through this, but we want to be able to rebuild and be healthy after this, versus like, do you send it and risk hurting your back or hurting your shoulder more? So our call was, you know, we're going to hit numbers and try to minimize pain as best we can and just like do the best. And he had a great day given those constraints. And then we kind of were talking about, okay, the cycle leading up to it. Like, were there additional things that maybe might have impacted this? And at first it's like, well, no, you know, there shouldn't really be a reason why I'm not doing as good as I've done before. But then when you start, you know, he moved. And he's been in his job, he's doing more physical stuff than usual. I think I don't know, I think there might be somebody who has left, or he's just picking up extra duties at work. So like, you have a stress is moodful, a move is stressful. Oh my God.
A stress is moodful.
A stress is moodful.
Yeah, it is.
A move is stressful. And then he also did like moved tons of dirt and was telling me about that. And I was like, that's also, whether it's a workout, that's a workout, whether you want to log it and train heroic or not. Plus your physical exertion at your job, which you're not accustomed to. So when you layer, and then there was a really big, he went on like one of those, he's a Colorado guy. So a hunting trip where you're hiking in the mountains. So like, if it's successful, then you're going to have an even bigger workout to get that back. So like, these are not small things, and they all hit within this window. So it's also probably contributing to maybe why we're also feeling physically beat up.
Yeah.
So just kind of like being honest about those things when you're looking at how your competition is going to go, but also looking forward to be like, all right, we had these things during this last cycle. Now we know we're gonna do Utah, and we know we have more time for that, but still not a ton of time.
No,
I think you put the countdown recently up.
It's not a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time, but we can still get a good 12-week cycle in, right?
I think we'll have 16 weeks of formal prep, so it's not terrible, but but it's not a huge amount of time.
It's not a huge amount of time, but we can also let's look forward this time. Hopefully he's not moving again.
Yeah.
Hopefully the job stuff levels back out and like our stresses get it back under control. But what a lot of people do not factor in is if you're having a high level of stress in your life and you're also having very difficult workouts, your body sees these all as stress. Just because you've added a bunch here, it's not like, oh, okay, well, that's not physical stress. That's not the same kind of stress. So that's fine. Like, your body doesn't know what the hell's going on at a certain point if you have too much.
Stress is stress.
Right. Yep. And we just are pull yourself up by your bootstraps and handle it type of a culture.
Yep.
And that tends to lead to people having more stress because they feel like they're the only ones going through that, and we're not supposed to ask for help, and you're not supposed to do all these things. So like there's stress becomes a very big factor, but then athletes don't want to acknowledge that they have that additional stress and wonder why their performance or their performance is not great, or why training isn't as fun, or like if you have a lot of external things that aren't going great and your training is suffering, like that is something you have to look at. And I think that one gets overlooked a lot because it's like, well, we have to work and we have to do these things. So like, yeah, there's going to be stress, but it is what it is. It can be, but it also should be considered.
Yeah, it should just be considered in your plan.
Right. So just trying to be more planful, and the next one be like, all right, if you're gone this week, what can we do to make sure that week's more,
I think that's what I love about meets. We're coming up on New Year's, and New Year's, like, there's nothing really unique about New Year's Day at all, actually. But like it signifies the end of last year and the beginning of the next one. And it's always a time for review. So it almost makes like the whole fucking season like a time for review, and then a time of, hey, what are we going to do differently this year, right?
Yeah.
So meets are almost the same temporal event that it happens, and they reveal, and they are this litmus test for everything.
Yeah.
And if things went well, great. Why did they go well? And let's really dig into why that is.
Yeah. How do we replicate that again?
But like, it seems like you can't just do that daily. I don't know why. Like day to day, you'd be like, oh yeah, I don't think anything of this. But the meat does not lie. Like it reveals what it is, anything that happens. So people have this opportunity to actually like dig in and think about those things.
Yeah. It's like any time that offers you an excuse for reflection is good.
Yeah.
Because we tend, again.
Only we could do that a little bit sooner sometimes, or acknowledge it, right? On the day of, but.
Right. And I'm very much a do as I say, not as I do. So I am guilty of all of this shit. And a lot of these lessons that I work with people on are, I just make that mistake 5 or 6 times just to be sure. So like, now I can tell you how not to do it, but
very experienced.
Yes.
On how not to do it.
Yeah, that I got experience for days. But so no, that's that. So
that's a cool breakdown. I mean, so thanks for walking us through and just chat about weightlifting.
Yeah.
I think we have maybe not the largest masters team, but one of the biggest ones.
I think it's pretty indisputably the loudest.
Indisputably the loudest
masters team, but
and it's built on the backs of like, I guess we've given it direction, right? So we've done that. Like I specifically asked you to be the caretaker of this community, but it's like a group of good individuals who just keep kind of like multiplying. It keeps perpetuating itself now. I wouldn't know how you would even try to replicate it. Like I couldn't put an ad out in the paper and be like, "Hey, wanted a bunch of masters," and it would it wouldn't happen.
Hey, stone cold weirdos.
It wouldn't happen the same way.
We got the place for you. No, it wouldn't.
And what's great is that you have to be pretty, maybe not exacting, like. Creating and maintaining culture is like a gardening process.
Yeah. Oh, you got to weed that garden.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but like, this is minimal weeding, if any. It's been kind of nice.
We've almost created like a self-weeding garden.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like I think just highlighting the team first, like when we laid out core values and kind of put those in front of people, like team first is team first, right? So, and that's something
we can hear it.
Yeah. And also like that was like the theme of this week too. So it wasn't even like, yes, weightlifting, you're on the platform by yourself, but like, even like I think Matt Gonzalez's session was like first thing in the morning. So we're there, but we're not caffeinated as much, and we've already been like a day of yelling. So someone's like, "What's going on with heavy metal? I don't really hear them." And we're like, "We're trying.
We're trying hard as we can." Okay.
Yeah. Doing our best. So, we do try really hard to make sure like everybody has some folks in the crowd, and even Tressy's session, which was very fun. It's a good day if you get golds on your openers, like world for both lifts. So for her, we had these openers, and it's like, how about we just like secure gold and then we'll do whatever you want.
She got gold. She got, were they world records?
They were on the board as world records, but I don't quite know how to validate that.
I don't have that on my list.
Yeah,
but I think
there might have been a snatch world record. I think the clean and I think the clean and jerk wasn't the standard 75, so that's why we put it on there, and she hit it.
Oh damn! So you have to exceed the standard. So that might be why they're not on here on world record, unfortunately. But yeah, last minute sign up.
Yeah,
goes and gets gold.
Yeah,
has a good time.
Right, and I think we had, Wes was another last minute sign up where he was like, "Oh, my back's not 100%." And I was like, "Well, again, we could have," and I think he ended up silver, like he got second, and he was not going to compete. So I'm like, we just be again, just because like we can just train, we can be a little bit more conservative. He's like, I'm trying to learn how to collar that dog. Is what he was saying. Because I'm like, if our back's blown up, chill a little bit on these max days leading up to it, like keep the wheels on the bus. So we had a lot of good conversations, and I'm so glad he came because we had so much fun.
Oh, he's the best.
Oh, he's fantastic. So
he's a big contributor to the team culture as well. So I was having that conversation with Sarah Tyler actually.
And she's a great ad.
Of course. And we're so lucky to have you just stack all these people and you're like, oh yeah, of course it's great because all of these people, these individuals are awesome. But
everybody's cool and welcoming.
Sarah's been training long enough to go through the same thing we were talking about earlier, where you've been like legitimately good during like she did come to weightlifting later, but kind of like a peaker time of your athletic ability. Let's just put it that way. And now I don't think she's done PRing. Honestly, I think there's a few more in there. But
she's been looking real good.
She's having to confront like, oh yeah, I can't just go heavy every Friday like I did once upon a time.
Yeah.
You just can't do it because you're not going to recover. And that's why when we look at 16 weeks to prep, I don't love that amount of time for a Masters team because Masters can make progress. They just have to do it a little bit slower.
Right.
To ensure that they don't have as many setbacks. So I don't get to draw things out as much in the program. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. Yeah. We'll do our best anyway. We'll have to probably sacrifice, working on some things that I ordinarily would want to work on.
Right.
And that's fine. But yeah, you're at this age. You still can get better. You can make progress. You got to collar the dog. You gotta
collar that dog.
Max every damn session because you won't be able to recover from it.
Yeah. And like that recovery piece is very important. So like that's something I'm trying to figure out with Mark because that was like, his session was the most challenging I've ever coached, but it's probably one of the most fun sessions too.
Okay.
So Mark's just has a different background. So he also was a NFL player for multiple teams.
Got a world record snatch. So it's awesome.
He's got himself. He had it was a 7 kilo PR
in the snatch. Yeah,
in the snatch. Yeah. So, but yeah, he had like very, very big goals. And I think this was his second meet. Well, it had to be his third meet at least because he had to qualify for nationals. But second big meet, third meet overall. So like also very new to the sport, very green in that regard. But we after his weigh-in, I'm like, hey, how does it going? Trying to find him. And he's like, oh, I'm in the training hall. I'm like, oh no.
What are you doing there? Oh, he's just starting the hour-long warm-up.
But why? Oh no, he had warmed up from the weigh-in until his lift. And granted, it was all body weight stuff before from like, weigh in at like 4. And then he was also the last to open snatch.
Nice.
So that's a 2.5 hour. It's
like 3 hours basically.
It's long, but also like he's an NFL player. And Mel, so another reason Mel's amazing. She was a photographer for the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
So like she's been around a lot of NFL players. So like I was like, hey, so I just did this debrief and I'm kind of like, how the hell am I going to get him ready in time if I need all this stuff? And like, because I want him to have a good time. This is his first time like that I've met him in person, and it's the first time I'm coaching him and all of the teams there, and so excited to meet the new guys. And I'm like, this has to go well. Like this has to go well. And like I said, I don't like to put something on the bar that I don't 100% know you can get. Like,
right. Yeah.
And he's strong as shit. So it's never been a strength thing that I think he can do. Oh my gosh, it's never been a strength thing with him. It's technique, but he every time he followed the warm up plan and he fucking crushed it. Like I don't know like how else to say it, but it was a very interesting warm up in the back. But like he was doing certain things, and Mel's like, oh yeah, defensive players they'll be in there for hours warming. I mean, she's like explaining to me some of the warm-ups and what's going on. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's fine. And like the whole back room just got a kick out of it because they're just trying to figure out what he's doing. And to be honest, same. So some folks were like, do you want to share a platform? I'm like, we can. Might be a little chaotic, but we'll figure it out. You know, it was a.
Do you want to share a platform?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
we can. Do you want to?
Yeah. So I was like, sure. And then they moved platforms like the next lift. So and it's fine. It was actually what's his name? Michael Baltic. He's the one of the
mustache.
Yeah, mustache guy. He's
wants a mustache anyway.
Amazing. That guy's one of my favorites. So I felt really bad. I was like, I would love to share a platform with you. Just no. I can't make any promises, but it all worked out really great. And so that's one where, so he's been doing, you know, he's used to a lot of volume. He's been in the NFL. Like, he's been at a very high level of athletics for a very long time. So he's now trying to figure out like what's the right level of volume, because when he gets these heavy days, he's like not recovered for a very long time.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, what can we do that you're not, you know, beat up for a week after we go heavy? Because that's not great. We want to be able to come in and continue training. Now, I did find out that he had put his maxes in Train Heroic quite a bit heavier than his current lifts. So if you're messing with your maxes in Train Heroic, no more than, I don't know, at most 5 kilos over your best. At most, would you say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so when I set goals for a training cycle, I probably never go above 5 kilos.
And that's pretty big. It's even like...
That'd be the top end.
That'd be the top end,
If you're a super, it's probably possible for more. But that'd be a pretty reasonable. It depends on what kind of timeline you're dealing with too.
Right.
But yeah, that would be the most.
Mine's more like, if you're, you know, over 20 kilos above, and I want you to be doing technique work in this percentage range. Now you're doing technique work at some pretty high levels.
At very intense level,
ain't technique work at a certain point.
Nope.
So, but it was a lot of really good conversations. I think we built some really good trust on both sides of that. So like, it was a really, really great experience. It just was a completely new, unique one. So that recovery piece, he's just a different kind of athlete. So I'm like, okay, no extra credit. I know you're going to feel bored, like you haven't done anything, but like, I need to know what you're actually doing, or I can't really adjust. Because if I don't know what your extra credit is, how am I going to, how do I get you the right volume?
Yeah.
So like, just trying to have those conversations and be like, we just have to trust the process of it probably being bored for a while, but then we can add more in if you're able to recover.
Yeah.
But if it's just a mystery,
you don't even know what's going on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's the more information remote athletes can share, the more we can help. So I have quite a few who use Train Heroic as like a training log or a training diary. But then that's great if I can be like, okay, they missed their numbers, and I can see like comments about why. Maybe that next week I adjust that you know, that exercise or that program. So like, I always try to get folks to share more and more, but like, I get it. It's a pain in the ass. You're already training for an hour and a half. Do you really want to be journaling mid-session? Like, I get it, but your progress will take off the more information you're sharing with your coach.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays you can just dictate to your phone. It'll fucking type it.
That is true. Yeah. Just do that. I may not understand it, but I'll try. But yeah, so recovery is always one we're trying to figure out. But yeah, no, there was, going back to the team first thing and why we have such a solid masters team. So like, we do, what we've been trying to do these last 2 meets is have a team house at...
Yeah, tell me about the Olympic Village.
Yes. So and there's a couple reasons we do it, right? Because like, it's just, again, back to the economy. Things are expensive. So we do this, and then that brings the price point down for somebody to be like, instead of paying, you know, $200 a night for a hotel for 5 nights, it's like $300 for the entire time.
Yep.
So like, it makes it so that, I mean, granted, I'm coaching, so it's a little easier for me, but it makes it so more people can afford to go. Like, I really firmly believe that, because I would be somebody who wouldn't be able to afford to go if we didn't do something like that. So we are going to keep trying to do that. Now, there's challenges with that, because we are all masters athletes. We are at a certain point, we get to be a little, I don't know, set in our ways. Maybe.
Sure.
But the cool thing that I witnessed with this is like how flexible and just how supportive this team is. So like, this year's, the one we had in Atlanta just had more room. So there was less shared rooms.
Gotcha.
You know,
yeah, the Atlanta Olympic Village was very well rated.
It was very well rated.
And now you guys get to make the Salt Lake City Olympic Village, so 2 actual Olympic cities. And I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah. I want to actually start looking now, because I feel like I gotta imagine we'll have better options in Utah than Daytona Beach, because the problem with Daytona Beach is the houses are fucking tiny.
They're very small. Yeah.
They're very small. So we got one, and I straight up was like, number of mattresses. Like, we're masters. We all need a mattress.
Yeah.
So found 12 mattresses. So that was like the house had 3 bedrooms. So we had the honeymooner suite with Seth and Melissa Lingefelt. There was the Mojo Dojo Casa House with Wes, Carlos,
and Phil.
Nice. Which would be funny because Carlos would come out in the morning and be like, I don't know where Phil is, because Phil was on the top bunk. So these rooms also had queen size bunk beds, but they were like not sturdy.
Nice.
So like you're crawling up and down, they're shaking, or like we had to just pull one out off of the women's rooms because it was one would wake up and turn over and then everybody's awake. So, but yeah, Phil would like sneak out in the morning and like wouldn't wake up Carlos, and he'd be like, how's he doing that? Is he here? Like we both went in and checked, like he's not in there. I don't know where he is. But they had their house, and then the girls were in the garage. So there was 4 of the ladies in the Barbie Dream House, which that one actually got renamed the Mojo Dojo Casa House because it was very like, it was a game room with 3 beds, but there was also, it was like all fluorescent lighting with like no small lights. So it was very
Only,
much
like, very
somebody
bright
sneaking in the middle of the
lights,
night is waking everybody up. Yeah. Like a,
well,
but
if you're 40 years old, you want to sling some weights and sleep in a garage with 5 other people, give us a call. No,
but you'll get a mattress. Yeah. And Carlos is like, he's like, if I could just make sure I can have a mattress the night before I compete, like the rest of the time doesn't matter. And I'm like, you're gonna have a mattress.
We're all too old to not have a mattress.
It's like that ship has sailed, so you're good. Yeah. But it was just they're so, because everybody on this team is so supportive of everybody else. Like that was the attitude, right? So, it's a lot of people with 2 showers and 12 people, and like everybody made sure everybody else was, got to weigh-ins in time. Like, hey, we're helping each other with meals and bringing each other coffee and just like rotating through shower schedules and just like really doing a insanely good job of like just being kind.
Yeah, supporting everybody.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of opportunities, especially when you add the stress in of competition and weigh-in. Like there was Mel's gonna hate this, but basically I've been telling people you can't take anything personally that somebody says to you if they have to weigh in that day. Like at all. So, because there was like an incident in Atlanta where I think there was like an argument on the way to somebody's, I can't remember this like specifics, but like there was like one argument in Atlanta in a car, but I don't hear any of that this year. But the scenario that I say this for is, so Mel had to weigh in, so she's like, I'm gonna walk to the CVS. All right, our Airbnb was here, and if you walked directly behind it was the CVS.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she's like, I'm going to go to CVS. I got to get some stuff for my weigh-in. And then I had taken the dogs for a walk, and then I like look at my phone, and she's just like, oh my God, I'm lost. I can't find the Airbnb. And I'm like,
it's right here.
Okay. So I like, because I missed the messages. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like trying to find Mel, and I walk out and she is right out front. But like,
this is a very Mel story. I'm sorry.
The rest of the week, we kept walking straight through the parking lot to the Airbnb just to kind of be, because I'm an asshole like that. But I'm like, oh, look, is there? But that's like your weigh-in brain is, I'll never find the Airbnb again. I'm going to miss my weigh-in. I'm going to bomb out. Like it immediately can really, that spiral can happen to, and like Mel's been doing this a long time, and she's like really good at like doing what she's got to do to compete that day. And I've never really seen this from her, which is why I am like, the shit can happen to anybody. It is a stressful experience to compete, even if it's like it's just going to be a fun meet, and I'm just trying to go have like hit good numbers and just be consistent, whatever.
That's hard. 12 people, 2 showers, 3 dogs.
3 dogs
is
That's
when you're trying to manage your energy and your time.
Yeah,
it's very hard. So to hear that everybody was like cognizant of that, and like, if I'm not competing today, like I need to prioritize these other folks.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It was almost hard to get our athletes to prioritize themselves.
Yeah, I'd like to some other time we sit down probably together and be like, okay, let's look at what this schedule looked like. Yeah. How could we improve on this? So like you guys are going to go train or whatever, you know, and do that. Still come and cheer, you know, and all that. Like I love how supportive everybody was, but probably by the end they're probably pretty wiped. Right?
Oh, yeah. We were all gassed, but
so like
if you 25 athletes
front end, not a big deal, right?
You cheer for everybody. That's a full work. That's over a week of work.
It's a lot. Like so. Yeah.
And they were at every session. So like I was insanely impressed with how well everybody did. And like that little like She came back, had a great session, and everything was totally fine. But it's just like, yeah, don't take anything anybody says personally before weighing.
I now envision like a chair of cheer, like from The Grinch, where you guys are just in a samba line and like you're carrying around probably you in the chair of cheer.
Can give me ideas.
Getting ready. So anyway,
Mel, chair of cheer.
But Mel nabbed a bronze, so that's awesome.
Yeah. She did great. She hit all the numbers she wanted to. I think she was good for those last ones, but like it's always tough to do that. But she had a great day. But yeah, I had to. That was probably one of the funnier things I've seen. Once we got everything figured out, then it was funny. It was very not funny at the time because I was like, where did she go? It's not that big here.
Nope. Let's see. Wes nabbed a silver despite not being in his best condition. Any other like big highlight, like you want to walk through the performances?
Oh yeah. So I mean, so Carlos opened everything up.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
I think he would have been 6 for 6, but he got his last lift went to the jury. Because he actually came out, he's like, did I not get that last lift? And we're like, no, the jury overturned it, which there were some tough calls this weekend. So that was like, Christy also got some really tough calls to the point where we like were watching the replay and even the announcers were like, hold the phone. That's why is that about? Like,
I will say they had international technical officials there, and like the judging in international meets is like a whole new level. Of strict. So, but hey, you're at the World Championships for Masters, so
it is, yeah. So he got the that Showbiz Baby bracelet.
So
I was like, I'll have that if like something happens, and I was like, it happened right away.
3 world records.
Yeah,
he got 4 gold, so he swept both competitions basically. So and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's one thing that he had said too. I'll go back just to touch on the Olympic Village one more time.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably touch on it 15 more times, but Carlos like was in the Olympic. He's fucking hilarious.
I heard
amazing.
Everybody say this about him. Yeah.
So there was one, and he's like a good example of how inclusive we're trying to be. So at one point, Christy has bangs, and Carlos was only ever seen Christy with bangs. So she put her hair up like after shower or whatever, getting ready, no bangs. So Carlos gets up and he's like, "Hi, I'm Carlos. Nice to meet you."
Doesn't know her face.
And she's like, "Carlos, we've been just hanging out all day. What the hell?" So the rest of the weekend, anytime they saw each other, "Hi, nice to meet you." Sure. So
solid.
That was pretty hilarious. And then there was at the end of Saturday after Taylor's lift, we were all everybody was so, I don't think I fell asleep till like 2:00 that morning because everybody was so, myself included, amped up from all of it. But a bunch of us were sitting around in our tiny living room, so it's packed and it's like 11:30 midnight. So like everybody's trying to wind down to go to bed, but like no one's ready for bed. And I just hear like different conversations go on, and I don't remember who he was talking to, but Carlos was just mentioning like, yeah, just this like, I wasn't expecting this like type of community. I really haven't felt this included since I was in the military. And I just really hadn't, I don't know, it was a long 3 days at that point. So I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. This is what we all needed.
That's lovely to hear.
So
man.
It was just a really, the coach in me was like, go to bed. We have shit to do tomorrow. But just like the teammate in me was just like, nope, they're grown ass adults. We're all masters. They can figure out when they want to go to bed. And they all did shortly after that. But it was just like really like, it was too nice to like,
yeah, it was a nice moment.
To pass that up
till 2 that night also.
Yeah.
Wired, but probably for, invested in a person reasons. But
yeah,
but
you'll have that.
Yeah, I know that one. I was up later. I got like a 50 sleep score that night or something. It was pretty low.
God, yeah, but, my body battery score was just trash.
Because I had to go in and I had to marshal in the first session that day too. So
dude, I don't know how the hell you did that. I was dying.
Thank you because of you. That's the only reason. Like you guys stepping up, me having like I've heard from multiple coaches. At several events now, but it was definitely big at this one because it was so large. 5 platforms.
Yeah, it was massive.
A lot of athletes. So it's like, I got someone over here, and like, man, I got a lot of people I got to work with. I was like, hire coaches. It's like, well, I don't. It's like, no, like, it's your only way. Like, you need to get help.
Yeah.
To do this, like, otherwise, don't let a million people sign up. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah, you got to figure.
If you're gonna have 25 people at the meet, don't have one coach for 25 people. Like that's all I could say.
God, because like this was like the least aggressive coaching schedule I've probably had, and
because we had so much help.
We had so much help.
With it helped. Honestly, so let's acknowledge your sacrifice. Like you not lifting helped a ton.
For sure,
it freed you up a lot more, and then having everybody just stepped up a little bit. Like Elena, I don't think owned anybody, but she helped. Sarah was coaching, Kane was coaching, Taylor coached. So it allowed us to not be wiped. And I was very thankful because I think I probably had to do either marshalling or speaking every early session, I think, except Thursday. I think that was the only day that I didn't. So I was doing that, and then we had an athlete in every last session of the day. So it meant that I was there basically from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day. And, with varying responsibilities, don't get me wrong. It's not like I wasn't working straight, but it meant for some long days.
It was a long ass day.
and it was helpful to have all you guys, of course, working so hard. So I feel like we as a staff did a pretty decent job there, spreading the load around as best we could. So
and it was great because that way, if you're not coaching, you don't need to be there. Like, we still just were in the crowds. It was fun to be able to cheer for people.
There, of course.
Yeah. So, it was just really good. And after Atlanta, I'm like, I don't know how this is, like, that was, so I have like a group of friends that we used to travel together. And anytime we repeated a trip, the second trip always sucked. Like, we did Kentucky Derby first year, super fun. There were 5 of us, like, perfect. And then we invited a bunch of people the second year, and awful. So like, I get very apprehensive about round 2 of anything.
About getting the gang back together.
Yeah, because I'm like, you can't, if it's too good, you can't repeat that. Like, you can't catch lightning in a bottle, baby.
You can't.
So,
I mean, second time.
Apparently you can, because this was pretty great. So, so that was good. Who else we got? So we talked about Tressie a little bit. Steve,
we have Tressie, Mark. We did Melrod.
Yep.
We got to Wes.
Yeah, Penny had a great day.
how'd Penny do?
So we've been struggling with cleans a little bit lately, and her wrist is just kind of like, some days it shows up, some days it does not. So given all of that, she had a very solid day, and her, if you see the video put up, they're very sexy lifts. So
yeah,
I was
good
very
comeback.
happy with how she was moving.
She had was it the second snatch she missed?
I think
she came back in third. Made on the third.
It
was a really nice correction, I thought.
Yeah, so she's been really good with doing those kind of things. So we just kind of adjusted her clean start at team camp not that long ago. So it was fun to see that come together. We talked about Mel. Joy, she had a 2 for 6 day. So I had a good conversation with Joy kind of after that, and just kind of like talking about like how it went versus like, expectations versus how it went. And she was disappointed with going 2 for 6. And her question just was, how did she say it? She was just like, how do men just believe they can hit these numbers? And I'm like,
no, men bomb the fuck out all the time, actually.
But also,
y'all
be believing you're capable of some shit. No?
That was a theme.
One thing, you tend to all have at least a little bit of the audacity.
That was a theme of the last episode, because we tried to record 2 of these while we were in Daytona.
Yeah.
And trying to get women to get together to do this, there was like no belief that it would be good, and they were all worried, and they wanted to be like overly prepared.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Like I actually made an agenda. I looked at their combined schedules and found the one time they were available, and they're like, I don't know. I just texted 3 dudes like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And it was just immediately like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
so like,
a man wanted to talk into a microphone? That's crazy.
Exactly. It's just like, so it's a superpower. Like, but also maybe you guys need a little of that.
No, yeah. So and that was what it is. Cause I'm like, not to simplify it, but yes, like I think why so many men are successful with just all kinds of shit is just like there's not as much of that. Like, women, it has to be perfect. You have to be qualified and have all these things before you'll even try something. Whereas a lot of guys will just try it. So like, to that, I just was like, I do think there is a degree where you do just have to believe you're capable of it. Cause
you gotta
be. Cause I was like, she's like, well, I have 57 snatch. And I was like, I fully believe you are capable of a 57 kilo snatch.
Yeah.
I seeing how quick 52 went up.
This will be the 3rd or 4th time we've said it on the podcast. You have to be delusional to some point.
Oh, for sure.
To be good at anything, honestly.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah. That's why you think I'm like nodding like a Muppet every time I go up to a heavy snatch. Because like, well, let's see how it goes. So like, if, it's the whole mentality. If you tell yourself it's not going to happen, then you're right. So anyway, so we had a really good conversation on that one, but it just kind of cracked me up, because I'm just like, yes, I do think that's an element of it. So
absolutely.
I do think that, you do have to believe you're capable of really hard things here. So
she still did pretty well. You know, I got to work with Joy on that one. I thought her warm-ups were amazing. They were some of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so I was surprised that the results were what they were.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll stay that way. Whereas over, I think,
but she's already doing the Team Cup, I believe, with...
Yeah, she's raring to go.
Oh, yeah. So, like, we're going to party in January, and, like, we'll be good to go again. But, like, it's... You know, you still did the damn thing. Like, it is not an easy feat to total in this setting.
I don't know if she'll listen to it, but like, I meant what I said, Joy. Like, there's so many reasons that you shouldn't have been there or couldn't have been there. Like, things that you could have let get in the way. Joy's had many things over the years that have like affected her weightlifting journey. And this year she was like, you know what? I'm going to get back out there. I'm going to do it. And then she's done multiple meets this year as a result. So
yeah, and
it's
has
really,
been
really
fucking
awesome.
Crushing it too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and it's really hard when you have like, you know, what 6 or 6 in Atlanta. She did a really good.
Oh
Atlanta.
yeah, she did amazing in Atlanta.
Yeah, and really good.
I can't remember if it was 5 or 6. I think it was 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so it's like, it's hard when you're like crushing, and then like still doing well, but not like, you know, it's not 6 for 6. So like
standards are just getting higher. So it's
getting harder.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's never going to get easier. But anyway, so like, yeah, sometimes you just got to tell yourself you are capable of that. And I 1000% know that she is. So
platform over, you were with Allison while that was going on. And it seemed like Allison had a good breakthrough.
Dude, she was a completely different athlete. That's like the most confident I've ever seen her show up for a meet. She knew she had it, and she fucking did it. This is the second meet in a row where she's had no Clarks, and like that's kind of been her like MO is like make Clark, because like it
felt self-fulfilling.
Yeah. And so like she went 3 for 3 on snatches and hit 50, and like 50's been one of those numbers that's just been really like just, you know, sometimes a number has a lot of power over you. That one's been over her. So, but she did phenomenal. Like, showed up. Warm-ups were great. Like, she was a fucking competitor that day. So that was really cool to see that confidence. But like, we've been working on it with a lot of different, you know, we started doing her programming. It was late summer. So it's probably been, I don't know, 4 months now. But we just kind of switched a couple things around and just worked on the things that she was struggling with. And like, she's just really starting to, lift like herself again is what I think how she put it, is like she's feeling like she's, you know, feeling like herself again in the lifts, which is really, really great. So, and like all of that's, not all of it, because she has been busting her ass here in the gym, but like a lot of that has been like a lot of cognitive reframing or finding what works well for her. And we've been just really working on it, and she just fucking did the thing. So we did the Team Cup so that she would qualify. I think that was the one in August.
Yes,
and that was her first no Clark meet, which was really great. And she qualified. So that was a huge win. And like, I think she had mentioned like that was the most fun she had ever had at a meet. So like at that point, I'm like, we need to remember how to have fun, because like we're all choosing to do this. We're all just trying to be active and as strong as we can be. And like, we're masters and we're trying to figure out what those are. So like, if there's not fun, then like it's going to be really hard to want to show up for really hard sessions if there's no fun to be had. But I know that's not kind of how everybody likes to compete, but that's more my style.
It's got to be fun. Competing is fun. Like, it should be a fun experience.
Yeah, this is fun.
Even when there are it is.
This is
fun. Okay. Let's see.
But yeah, who else we got? So so she crushed it.
Steve got 4 silvers.
Katie had a fucking solid day too. She went 5 for 6, and she also had a very strong mindset as well. So that's awesome.
Yep. And Melissa in that session, she went for her only misses were PRs. So I thought that
she lifted really, really great. And I know you were coaching her, so I didn't get to see a ton of that. But yeah. Oh no, Katie also had a competition snatch PR.
Oh, awesome.
Which was cool, because it was one of those when we were talking about openers, we're like, all right, where are we opening? And it had been like 60 the past few, and it for whatever reason was giving us like it wasn't always consistent. So I'm like, why don't we just try?
Yeah.
So we opened a little lower, and then the jumps got her to a PR. So like,
just start light, build your total, and then you'll have a good time.
So like, you know? When in doubt, like
it's a really good example. Yeah,
you can very much get to a very solid total and even tee yourself up for a PR if you can open lighter. You don't have to, but you know. Yeah, so that was a really good lesson.
Very Melissa Lingefeld-ish. She came in with like a really well thought out plan. It was based off of some pretty good training.
Yep.
And then I think she's just disappointed that like even when it felt like prep was probably going pretty well, that it, you know, you just still don't PR sometimes. And
they were close misses.
They were very close.
They were 1,000% in the tank.
All her warm-ups were awesome. And it's just like, it's one of those ones, she probably doesn't make it on a 4th attempt, but sometimes you wish you'd at least had it to be sure.
God, the number of times I'm like, man, I just want to go take it in the back quick, but we still got to clean and jerk. No, that was great. Who else we got? You want to talk about
Christy's first big meet?
Yeah. So Christy was cool. Christy is like, she's just cool as hell. So just the whole nice to meet you thing was hilarious. But she hit her, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. So we missed our snatch opener. And it just looked like nerves, because this is she's newer to weightlifting. So this is her first big national meet. So we kind of, after states, she qualified, she hit what she needed to qualify for finals, because she's a master, but sometimes the finals totals were lower than the world's totals and vice versa. But for hers, whatever, she hit finals. So we like peer pressured her pretty hard in coming, and with the team, the Olympic Village made it easy. Like, yeah, there's an extra bed at that time, so come on in. So she came. She was like an awesome, like helping people, like running people to the venue as they needed. Like, she just awesome teammate all around. But misses her opener. We just repeat it. She smokes it. It was great. And then I believe she hit her last 2 snatches. Because what did she end on? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah, 49.58.
Okay, yeah. So 49 was, I think, a comp PR. So that was, she hit her 2nd and 3rd snatch. She hit all our clean and jerks, but she got called for a press on the first one. Yeah. And it was like, I was even trying to yell at the folks cheering. I'm like, what was it? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what to coach her up to do. Because it was a little bit of an elbow wobble. It was very small, but
yeah, there's one arm in particular that just doesn't want to always lock out.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like, and I even ask, anytime I have a judging question, I ask Allison, because like, she's not going to lie to me. So, but if you get called for elbow on your first lift, they're going to be looking at your elbows for the rest of the lifts. Like, it's just
a demonstrated phenomenon. They're just going to look more.
Yeah. Because
even if it's not.
Now they know.
Big.
Yep. So
100%.
She crushed her second one, like very, very solid. And then honestly, watching the video, and even Allison said that she would have given it a white light on the third one. She got 2 reds. So
was it you? I think it was you who brought up to me about the combined jury review.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of opinions on the jury review. Yeah, it's fine, but they shouldn't be able to talk to each other.
They should. We can't go into it deep on this one because we have too many people to review. But Courtney brought up a really good point. Yeah, you can't judge and talk to other judges about your decision. Yeah. So why are jury members allowed to do it?
Yeah, because they're all like,
makes no sense.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. That's. I think that's. I don't know how the hell you would do that with the technology y'all have, but like, that's my 2 cents. I feel like it would be a lot less.
You just tell them to shut the fuck up and watch the lift, and that's it.
And put your own opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. Put even like little blinders. Like that episode of How I Met Your Mother, the Super Bowl episode. Do you see that one?
I don't know.
It's a very old reference. Right, Never mind.
We talked about Brandon's performance. How about Phil? Phil didn't have his favorite day. This was very different from states.
Yes. And this is another, Phil is like, we love Phil, and we call him No Chill Phil. Mm-hmm. And I think that the no chill in the Phil is what bit him, because I don't actually know how many sessions he volunteered for before he lifted, but I know it was too many.
Yep.
So
I think it was too. I
it was a lot.
You know, I asked you guys to.
He was also there
step up,
front to back every day. You know,
I'm pretty sure. When I look at it, I was like, oh, it's not a good look. I think we were like either the 2nd or 3rd largest team at the whole event. So I was like,
not volunteer at all.
It's probably not a good look if none of us volunteer, guys. Will you take a look? And then Phil took that as a mission to maximize his, to max it out. Like it was going to be
he's like, don't threaten me with a good time.
If you volunteer 10 times, you get a free sandwich kind of deal or something.
Oh my God, he would get so many sandwiches, which it's a wonderful thing, but that was just kind of the chat. It's just like, so next year or next one, we're not going to
just be a little more careful.
Yeah. We're going to volunteer after we lift.
Because you can before too. You just gotta not do a lot. Like,
correct. Like maybe
I was encouraging
Marshall
everyone do it for like our team session, so that way you don't miss and all that kind of stuff. But so unfortunately learned a tough lesson. But
but he did what he had to do, because what he had his last clean and jerk, it was like a make or break type of thing. Because I think I was coaching Christy at the time. They were lifting as well. And like that's honestly the most frustrating part is just not getting to watch everybody lift. But
it's how it goes. We had Matt Gonzalez. Matt Gonzalez won 4 gold medals, set 3 world records himself.
Yes, he did.
He basically won everything on his openers.
Yeah, Gonzalez does what Gonzalez be doing.
I think he missed his opener
on his clean and jerk.
On clean and jerk? Okay, came back and made it.
I think. Or wait, which one was 100? Did he open 100 snatch?
I think he missed both openers. Ended up making then 2 snatches, but then came back and made.
Yeah, because he made a comment about being like, oh man, you know when you're like at the end and then you go, they make everybody wait for you and then you go out there and miss. It's so embarrassing.
His jerks do need some work. Like it's been a thing for a while. So I think because they're a little pressy, I think they just end up in front of his head and it makes it harder. But
I get that.
To be opening with the gold medal lifts is really impressive.
Oh yeah, just if you hit your lift, you're champ. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, he did great. Taylor had a great snatch day.
She did.
And then I think given that it looked like her back locked up. Given all that, she did great.
She snatched really well. She went into this with not the best prep because of the back thing. So kind of managing her snatch. So it kind of showed like her snatch was pretty consistent in training. We took relatively small jumps to just make sure that she was constantly in the lead on that.
Yep.
So she locked up the golds in both meets. So that was important. And then, that was definitely less than we thought she was going to clean and jerk for sure. It was very painful for whatever reason, like basically on her last warm up. So we opened 5 kilos lighter and took like the minimum I thought was going to be safe. Came back and got it done. So good 5 for 6 day, despite some pain. And, I think a lot of golds and 1 silver, just that clean and jerk ended up being a silver. Overall, because we didn't get to go very heavy, and that was it.
Yeah, do you know what I would give to clean and jerk 103?
Yeah.
And just to do that with a locked up back.
A locked up back. Yeah,
she's the bitch.
Vintage tough Taylor. So she did a pretty good job.
Yeah, she's a badass. So that was just really that's just impressive to see, like being able to do that. So she's a badass. So very inspiring for all of us normies. Yandel had a good day, it looked like. He didn't quite beat Dan Dodd. I know he really, really wanted to.
It was a close one between him and Dan. I mean,
wasn't he just trying to total more than Dan clean and jerked?
He did his best.
That's what he told me.
I mean, he did win the snatch battle against Harley. He did snatch more kilos than Harley did.
Is that the most frustrating thing?
On 2 attempts. So,
I'm good. Frustrated for you.
We only took 2 attempts because he would not have made a kilo more.
They're like, he scratched his last one. And I was like,
Yeah, we had to scratch his last one, but 4 out of 5 lifts. That's pretty good day. Like, it's really impressive. Like when we know, like he did, I don't even know how many high roxes, and still did a pretty high amount of his PRs.
Oh, he did really good considering how much I've seen him on the weightlifting side.
And also, let's talk about like it gets overlooked, but doing media sucks. It really does. It's a really stressful, hard job when you're filming and you have to be around for that long. Doing all that, so that was.
He was at every session except the ones y'all did, the boys.
So that was Sunday when he lifted.
First he was
So that was already 3 days of filming the majority of our team on multiple platforms. So really good job, Chris. Like honestly, as much shit as we want to give him. Yeah. And then in that session, Dan did really well. Super pumped. He had very terrible clean and jerk prep. His cleans just were not working for whatever reason. And so you kind of see that like he wasn't able to take his final clean and jerk. I think would have gotten him silver overall. Yeah, in the main competition, even though he was in the Masters platform.
Sure.
But he still ended up getting, what do we have here? 4 golds, 1 silver, 1 bronze, 3 Masters World Records.
A terrible day.
He was the second best overall Masters male athlete there by Q point. So really impressive. His snatches were amazing. And his
snatches were really good.
They were super easy.
Like, that's probably some of the best ones I've seen him do.
It was my favorite. My favorite snatches he's ever done in his life, for sure. And had a close miss at a big snatch. So
that was a very fun one to watch too.
Really happy with how it went for him. So we just need to figure out how to make cleans go better. And that's another person who's figuring out like, hey, I can't recover as quickly as I do, and has a huge amount of responsibilities in their life, that he has to juggle.
Yeah, anytime I'm like, I'm so stressed, I like think about you and Dan's schedules, and I'm like, I need to just. Dan, Andy's got young kids,
but Dan trains I don't even do anything anymore. So I'm super impressed with how Dan gets stuff done and manages his life and prioritizes it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's try to keep.
Logic. Seth had a good day. I know. Seth. So he was great. I've coached him a couple times at meets now, and he's very consistent athlete. So it's pretty easy to coach.
Yes.
So that's always really great.
He does a good job of getting locked in.
Yes.
Staying very focused, and he actually gets competitive.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
So, trying to remember if he was a 4. I think was he a 5 for 6? He got called for a press on his opening clean and jerk. I remember.
Yeah, 5 for 6 on here. Yep.
So then, so he just missed his opener for a press out. So I don't know that we went up. I don't think we went up, and I think that was just more because I couldn't get the change in before the time. If I'm remembering correctly, I could totally be remembering the wrong session too, but I just know that the second clean and jerk was the best jerk I've ever seen him do. And I was just like, what the hell? And why don't they look like that usually?
Why'd we wait till now?
Yeah, because he's got long limbs, that guy. So it's his elbows usually are a little not quite locked out, but they don't move just because the very tall guy. But they were locked the fuck out on that second one and the third one because he just was not going to let them do that again because he is a competitor. So it was very nice to be okay, this is the last session. I need to save enough brain power for this. But kind of with Seth, the play, you run the play. I think the hardest part was, I think that was the session that we were really behind on one platform. So we had 30 minutes and then they moved us to another platform and then, okay, we're starting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're back on track. Yeah. So
right. So he was late enough in the session that he just was like, okay, well now we got to go.
Yeah.
So for him, it worked out really well, but I think that also probably screwed a couple other athletes. We were sharing a platform with a guy who's opening the session. So it all worked out, but he had a really good day. And he's just always super fun.
Came in 4th, I think.
Yeah.
If I remember right. So really, really close.
Oh, damn. Yeah, because he was in a B session, so we were just trying to win the B session.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the tricky part, which I don't always know. That's another thing I don't love that they do. Well, they don't, why can't you just have all the 110 Masters 35 people in one session?
Yeah.
It's that whole nationals half A, half B,
I didn't love that we took advantage of this for Dan, mostly honestly because we didn't want to lift at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But he was lifting when the non-masters competitors had already finished. So we knew exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah,
and
that's really nice.
Do those things.
Yeah.
So it's convenient, but again, it was entirely based off of 8 o'clock is a shitty time to lift, whereas noon sounds pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess we're going to take this opportunity. Should not be an opportunity that was open to us, 100%.
Yeah.
That should never happen. When you do Nationals Week, if you're a junior who registers also as a senior, you have to live with the juniors and let your total lie when the seniors goes. That's how it works there.
Sure.
So you should have to continue to lift with the youngest category you register for. That's all I'll say about that.
Sure.
Which is not what happened. So anyway, let's see who else we got.
I think the last one's Kane.
We have. I guess we didn't talk about Sarah. Sarah she lifted late. She had some very difficult prep leading into this, and so I know that she's not very satisfied with this total and will do much more. But she did still get a silver medal and then 3 bronzes.
Yeah. Okay. No, she did great. We watched her snatches. Sometimes we'd try to get back because we also had the dogs. It was late. Yeah. Yeah.
She snatched very well.
Yeah, she really did.
We were both
84
shocked.
That just popped right up.
Yeah, we were both shocked that she missed her 3rd snatch. Honestly.
Yeah, we were surprised too.
It was super surprising. Yeah. But then had to dig. So it was in our debrief, we talked about how gritty and gutsy her clean and jerks were because her clean and jerks went very poorly in prep, and then also it's 10 o'clock at night, and you've got to clean, and you're a 40-year-old woman, and you're clean and jerking. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's late as hell. Those 8 p.m. sessions are no joke.
No one should be trying to do that. So I hope they revisit that, at least for the A sessions in the future. I don't know, but
yeah, that was rough. I mean, yeah. Outside of that, it seemed to be very well organized, but they were a lot of we didn't do a team dinner on this one just because I looked at the schedule and I'm
when are you going to do it? Yeah.
So
exactly.
that little bit of time after Saturday hangs was like really the only thing we got. So but she did really great. And it was just fun too, because I think this is the first like big national meet where she's been like officially on our team.
She was with us at nationals. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, national. But yeah, just more in the team culture and like first time as a coach and all that.
Yes.
And she was able to help multiple people throughout the weekend. So it was awesome. Yeah, Sarah's fantastic.
Yeah. I was very stoked to hear she was going to be on the team.
The big guy did close it out for the Masters.
He did. Said he had a good day.
5 golds, including the gold in the open snatch category, and then 2 silvers. He took second to Aaron Williams, if I'm right. And he did win best overall Masters male lifter. Beat Dan Dodd by a half of a Q point. Just barely. And they incorrectly awarded it to Dan.
I heard that. Yeah, I saw that you.
And then Taylor had to
JK
do the unfortunate job of correcting them. It's like, nope.
I mean, of all of the people that would have to happen to, that's probably like, they're probably like the most forgiving. Like they're both so cool.
Yeah.
Like, but I could see that being way harder news to give to somebody else.
But that did also happen at in Atlanta, if I remember right. They tried to initially do that way, and then we also had to correct them. So maybe
Cool.
just take a little bit closer look.
Yeah, just slow down.
All of our masters. We'll give the rundown on our non-masters real quick. Let's see who kicked it off for us. I think it was Elena.
Yes.
On Thursday.
Because she was. I hope you guys stay and cheer for me, like. And we're like, yeah, we will. Yeah. We will. Okay, yeah.
Elena got 3 silver medals. She PR'd her total. She competed really, really well.
Was that a snatch PR?
That is an outright snatch PR. It was
the best looking one too.
It was incredible.
Fantastic.
She just had a dumb miss on her opening clean, if I remember right. Either opening clean or opening jerk, and then comes back and smokes it, and isn't far off from what it would have taken to win it overall. So I thought it was a big breakthrough. Like she graduated nursing school a week later.
Yeah, I did not realize she was like,
at the end of it, it was good time because like I think there were some paper finals, but no like clinical stuff to go. Like those had wrapped up, so she was actually starting to feel better.
Good,
during this time. Okay. So we got lucky, but
hell yeah, good
it's
for
been
her.
A hard process.
She's been putting in the work.
And she managed it really well. Next would have been Sierra, I think. Yep. Kind of a mix. Not great, not terrible sort of thing. And I don't think Sierra would be mad at me saying that. We definitely wanted more. Weren't surprised about how the clean and jerk went. Honestly, she did about what we thought she'd clean and jerk. But I think both of us expected her to snatch more. Like we only made the opener and then kind of like made just a dumb mistake on second one, and then on the third one makes a good correction, but sometimes it just goes that way. You can't correct it enough.
And she's throwing around some big weights too.
Yeah, I think she took 4th, maybe 5th, something like that. So it was really close.
Yeah, in a stacked.
We had a good
That's awesome.
Conversation after, so I think she'll be able to. We have some good plans,
nice.
and see how it'll go on the next one. Then let's see. Ansley would be Sunday morning. She got silver in the snatch and bronze in the clean and jerk, or bronze in the total. Sorry, in the junior
she had
class.
A good day. Yep.
So she PR'd her snatch. I think this is a PR tie in clean and jerk. It might be a big meet PR.
Is it 105?
Clean and jerk, yeah.
I think that's a 1 kilo because she did 104 at States.
Harv is acknowledging that it is. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember because I was coaching Ansley and Allie, and I got the A's mixed up on the Marshall table.
Yeah, we initially said she was going to have to do 110.85 to come home, but we still allowed her to come home, I guess, because she did 87. So that was fine.
How gracious.
And then Harv wrapped it up for us in literally the last session. She even lifted after Kane.
You were there that's where we're like staying. We're like trying to yell, but we're like lozenged up.
Not our favorite day. Snatches leading up to the meet were not great, and that's reflected here. They were actually probably the best that they were. It's so funny, like she is a good competitor because snatches before States were okay, but then like at States they were awesome. And then
they really were.
And then we still only made 1. And then kind of the same thing happened here. Like the warm up was amazing. Like those are the 2 probably best snatch warm ups I think she's ever done. But then she only went 1 for 3 both
That is
times.
the most frustrating, like when you're just smoking everything in the back and you're like, oh yeah.
I was like,
and then you miss your open and you're like,
they're moving right. They're moving easy.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But then, we kind of went after some big clean and jerks. This wasn't a PR clean and jerk, but it's just below and attempted a pretty big, would have been a big PR and just couldn't get it. So we got some homework to do and some notes on some stuff to do before universities.
Yeah, probably got pushed to take some bigger jumps too. There was some big dogs in that session. Holy shit.
There were some girls
some
lifting
biceps. Whew.
Huge weights. So what's kind of cool is that at least for Ansley
very strong.
and Harley, they'll get to compete with our masters team at the meet in 16 weeks because it is also university nationals. And I think Denise is going to do that also. So
they're not doing that at the Arnolds anymore?
No, university's been combined with masters. So we will have our olds and our youngs in the same place at the same time. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah, that's funny. I was going to... Never mind. That's a horrible segue. We don't need to do that. Okay. So it's just university. So then the Arnold's just
The Arnold
open,
will be like
seniors.
Virus Series 1, whatever. You know, that's it. So everybody can lift in it. Masters, seniors,
I like that
whatever.
a lot better for the university kids because like I did not like the setup at University Nationals in Columbus and those little fucking...
Yeah, I've never cared for it. They've said it's been like its own vibe and it's rowdy and all this stuff. And it's like, I'm with the rowdiness. You can give them a dignified setup.
Yeah, it's not
rowdy.
that it's only rowdy because there's like the minimal amount of
effort being
cubic
put into
feet that you could possibly put two platforms right fucking next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I'd have to go over there, I'm like,
yeah, the lighting's different.
You just walk in and it's
just
just like a sauna. Everybody else sweaty and smelly because it's a tiny conference room with way too many people in it. But yeah, so who knows? Like
out front is good because it is standing. Like the people that are there like are invested in your lifting.
Oh yeah.
So I'll say that part about it feels less like a ballroom, whereas the ballroom's like, all right, quiet and dignified and all that. But
yeah, and I'm not a big quiet. Everybody be silent. We try to be quiet when they're actually lifting, but
no.
Yeah, it is pretty rowdy over there, but that's hilarious because I'm like so sweaty. No.
So yeah, we've got that to look forward to.
Yep, that's very cool.
Our college athletes and our masters athletes getting ready for Salt Lake together.
Yeah.
Did you have any other notes or thoughts, reflections on the team?
I think we covered a lot of it. There was one thing that I'd been going through with like multiple athletes that I just thought was kind of an interesting that seems to be helpful. And it's also something that I have to like remind myself of a lot, especially like during these kind of things. And this is it's kind of hokey, but have you heard of the 4 Agreements book?
I haven't, no.
Okay. So this is something like I try to read it like once a year. It's like a very easy, quick read. And it's a little like, I don't agree with like all of the language in it. It's a little like they talk about like the GOD and some like other like religious references, but like the overall message is basically if there's 4 things that if you do, then like that's just all you can do. So the 4 and I'll tie it back in here, but the 4 agreements are be impeccable with your word. Mm. So what you say,
yep,
you should be able to stand by. Don't make assumptions.
Okay.
It's a big one. Don't take anything personally, especially if they have weigh-in that day. And then always do your best, right? So you're never going to be like, it's hard to be 100% impeccable with your word and do everything you say you're going to do. But like, if you're doing your best, you're doing your best, But the whole like, don't make assumptions and don't take anything personally. Like, I've really been using that when like talking to different athletes because sometimes it'll be like, this so-and-so coach, like, I don't think this coach likes me, or, they said this to me or I thought you were mad at me or whatever it is. And it's just like, okay, well, we're making assumptions. We're taking things personally that really have nothing to do with us. Like the whole Mel getting lost example, like you don't take something personally from somebody when they're in that kind of a state. Because we are all, people forget that like, it's like the idea of Sonder. We are all the main characters in our own story. So I'm looking at even though you and I are sitting in the same room having the same conversation, we're having 2 different experiences, because all these agreements, the agreements are basically just, you were born in California. So you probably have some different, religious, political, just socioeconomic agreements that you came up with, and a lot of them came from your parents and the people you're surrounding yourself with. And we like apply all of this in every scenario. So like if you say something to me and I take it personally, like I'm putting it through all my agreement filters. Mm-hmm. So like you probably had nothing to do with me. You're just having a day or whoever it is, but I'm taking it. I think you're mad at me. And I think that this all has to do with me. Whereas like that probably wasn't even a thought to you. And as soon as like I was able to stop taking so much shit personally that really had nothing to do with me and not make any assumptions beyond what was actually explicitly said, like just those two things can get you out of a lot of those like spirals that we get into, especially as weightlifters, because this is such a mental sport, if that makes sense.
Yeah. In the absence of like direct information, people tend to invent things. So I think that's where the assumptions come.
For sure.
And that's why like ABC always be communicating is a good mitigator of that. But I do encourage people to do what you're saying. Just to be proactively not making them, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's just, it's like, it's a very easy read. Like usually I'll read it in like a flight or something like that. So like if you're finding yourself just like, like ruminating about that kind of thing, might be a helpful read because it can really apply, because we're always out here doing our best, but like it's not always going to feel like that. Whereas like especially you have the best block ever and then the competition doesn't go super well. So it's just like you did your best and you did all of these things. So trying to, not be making assumptions about why your day maybe went poorly when you're like really in your feelings because you just competed or something like that. So just like trying to give yourself a little bit of grace just because shit's really hard out there and there's a lot going on. And just we've been doing our best, and like that's really all we can do. So that's kind of that last like thought is something that I just had a lot of conversations about that this past cycle more than usual. And I just feel based on the fact that everybody totaled, whether it was their best day or not, like everybody totaled and everybody showed up for multiple other people without being asked to. Like everybody was an amazing teammate. And like I'm so grateful and just impressed with how our team continues to do that. So it's been really, really great. And if you need a group of older weirdos to weightlift with, we do have our Train Heroic team. You can always join and get in on our calls and remote stuff.
No, it's a great place to button it up and wrap up. Like I was gonna, you stole it from me, damn it. I was gonna say my favorite stat, like we went over the medals and the records and everything. Mm-hmm. Talk about the weight, 0 bombs across 25 people.
This is nuts.
Is a statistical abnormality, or it's just a testament to how well prepared and how well these plans were executed when they were realistic and collaborated together. So
when I think we've had pod meetings about the call, like about our plans, and like we work with them and we have those conversations. And I feel like this is now a few meets into that, and it just like there's a lot of trust there. So.
We also had 0 bombs at states where we had more people. So that's 2 meets in a row.
Yeah.
25. And then there were like 39 people. So, I don't know. Anyway. If you want to not, I don't know if you're going to PR, but if you want to not bomb and have a good time.
Yeah. You like to party?
Sign up on Train Heroic today to get access to the Salt Lake City Olympic Village. So.
Yeah. Also pack lots of throat lozenges because you will probably lose your voice.
Yeah, absolutely will. Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hope to have more that we could talk about in the future.
Anytime.
For our Masters athletes. So, all right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.